Hi, my name is Toby Brown. I'm a Sonoma County Master Gardener, and I'm here at Harvest for the Hungry, and we're teaching people to plant tomato plants. So this is a pork chop tomato, and it's the perfect size to plant. So if you have them in your greenhouse and they look like this is a really good size to plant. So first of all, we've dug a hole, and we're going to put a little balanced fertilizer in it. I say maybe a tablespoon. And I'm going to cover it up with a little bit more soil. We do a special mix here. You don't have to. Compost is fine, but just use very, very, very low numbers. Okay, and then we're going to water the hole. And then I'm going to put my tomato in to see about where it will go. Oops, a little too deep there, so I'm going to put some of this back in. I'm going to mush it around a little bit more. I'm wanting to make sure that that balanced fertilizer is where the roots are going to be. Perfect. I'm going to bury this pretty deep. These are the cotyledons. The first leaves, I'm going to clip those off. I'm going to put it just like this between your fingers, turn it upside down. Look at those gorgeous roots. They're not all wound around. They're just perfect. Everything's just going to fall apart. So I'm going to leave it right down in here. And then I'm going to backfill this hole. I put it right on a dripper. And I like to put a little mound above here or around the tomato. Not big, about like that. And then we're good. We're going to mulch, and then we'll water, because there's pathogens in the soil everywhere that you don't want splashing up on the leaves. I make sure I put my stake in, and I move on to my next one. So my next one, oh my gosh, this one got left it was started a little bit too early, and now when the sun is coming out, everything's growing super fast. So I'm just going to check and see what my roots look like first. More roots. I'm going to have to do a little bit more work on this. This is a St. Pierre. It's a nice French tomato. I'm pinching off. Now here, I don't want the plant to work super hard. So if I put it in, it's going to be big and falling over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help it out. I find where my dripper is, and I'm going to be laying this down and building a ramp up. So it's going to get watered here, and it's also going to get watered here. So as you can see, these guys will be underground. So we'll cut those off, and I'm going to cut these off too. Wow, okay, so then I'm going to lay it down on this side. They're still pretty pliable. I'm going to work on these roots gently, but making sure they're not turning around and around and around. I'll lay this at the bottom. I've built up this little ramp like this, and I'm going to carefully go through and put my tomato in here. Now, this one will probably need a stake. Usually they do. And if you put the stake on this side, it's great because you're not going to hit the stem that's buried. This guy is still too low to the ground. I'm going to cut him off. He's touching the ground. This one is pretty close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off a piece of it. The rest will be left for photosynthesis, which will be fine. And then you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right in here where I buried the base. That way we're not going to plant anything right there. So I'm going to need to double label this. And then we'll mulch and water.